الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. أسأل الله أن يوفقنا وإياكم بطاعته ويسددنا ويعلمنا ما في خير ديننا ودنيانا. I will continue talking about the great Prophet of Allah, Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and we'll talk about the aspect of da'wah, early da'wah in the life of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and some of the strategies that he followed. Last time we talked about how the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam used the strategy of patience. Calm down, I cannot do anything for you. If you accept this, you must suffer for it. Or you don't have to. You see, those people, they knew what they were going to face. Okay? They knew the trouble. It's not the trouble, the challenge, the suffering, the consequences of their decisions that they're going to make. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. So the Prophet ﷺ realized that his companions, the number of people, and the number is not really decreasing, the number is, with all this suffering, with all this persecution, and this tells you that truth has a great attraction. The truth has a great attraction. You see the flies, the insects at night, you set up light, they come from all, they don't go to darkness, they go to, and they were ready to sacrifice their lives. Some of them even died. You see, so light has a price. Light, the truth has a price. If you want to stay in darkness all your life, go there, continue. Okay? So the Prophet ﷺ realized that the number was growing. And we talked another time that he moved to Taif. Remember the other day we talked? This is another technique of da'wah. It is to find another place where, and he was trying to find refuge for the da'wah to grow. He was not satisfied with the situation, but this is what he had to deal with. He was ordered by Allah to give da'wah, and he could not stop. He could not stop. And Allah asked him to be very patient, and his followers should be very patient. And this is a training for the ummah, that those are the people who start da'wah should be the best. The most patient, the most resilient, the most resisting. Yeah, and they have shown forbearance and perseverance at utmost levels. Though they will be our role models and examples. It's not easy. Beginnings are always hard, very difficult. So the Prophet ﷺ, with the number growing, he received a lot of persecution. He himself was persecuted. You remember one day he was prostrating next to the Kaaba, and Abu Jahl came with rotten instances of a camel and put them on the Prophet ﷺ. Even Fatima would come, and she was crying, and she would take that. He said, "Don't fear for your father. Allahu Nasiru. Allah will grant him victory." Yes. The Prophet ﷺ could have. He is one of the strongest of men. You know his story with Rukan and others. But he didn't use his strength at that time. If he had a dagger, he had his sword. He could go and just beat this man up. But how come Bilal would be suffering? How come Suhaib would be suffering? How come Al-Yasir would be suffering? And the Prophet himself wouldn't be suffering. Because this is elevation for him. You see, subhanAllah. He's showing all of us that I also suffer. I also suffer. They came to him one day and they were about to kill him. And Abu Bakr ran away to them and said, "How come you kill somebody who is saying, my Lord, تقتلون رجلا يقول ربي الله." The Lord is Allah. The Prophet was not weak. He was not afraid. He was not strong enough. He could have. But he was looking further. He could finish the da'wah at that moment by taking revenge for himself. It's not a matter of revenge. It's a matter of a plan set by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is going through. And this is some of the da'is who go for da'wah sometimes. They go to people and they spit on their faces. I've seen that. They chase them away. They say, "Thank you, no problem. I came for the sake of Allah. This is for me, but what is for Allah?" Okay? So, this is the example that we have in Prophet Muhammad ﷺ. Now we talk his his role model for the sake of da'wah. We talked about him as a father in all aspects of life. وَمَا أَنَا إِلَّا بَشَرٌ. So he's a human being and a messenger. He's a human being and a messenger. And when he became a messenger, he benefited from what he built up. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought him up in a different way. أَدَّبَنِي رَبِّي فَأَحْسَنَ تَأْدِيبِي. Allah, my Lord, disciplined me in the best way. Disciplined me in the best way. So the Prophet ﷺ went through all these things. But the Prophet ﷺ really made the Qurayshis, they were taken by surprise. How the Prophet ﷺ would bring new techniques of dealing with da'wah actions. New methods of avoiding their evil ways. When he had started having many companions, many people with their families, and they were persecuted, and the persecution was escalating. As the number increases, the persecution increases. And he wanted to keep his companions, and he wanted them to have a different experience. To realize that Mecca is not the only place. It is the Qibla. That time it was not the Qibla. The Qibla was Jerusalem. You see? The Prophet ﷺ knew that this will be the place of worship. This is the first house of Allah that was built on earth. I will continue to be until the Day of Judgment. He knew all that. But he was dealing with different stages. He looked at some of his companions and he said, would you like to go to Habasha? Come on. Imagine people who are living in Mecca all their lives. Now they face another challenge. A challenge of culture, challenge of religion. See? The challenge with the Qurayshis is nobody, I mean, it's easy to convince somebody, how you worship this idol that cannot give any benefit to you. And now you go to people of the book, Christians, Orthodox Christians, an empire. There was an empire.
In Ethiopia at that time.
In Ethiopia, not this time, Ethiopia, Eritrea, this area, okay? A new religion, a new way of life, different culture. And you have to travel long distance. You go international. You don't speak the language. You don't know the culture. You don't know the people.
It is the great barrier, the language.
So, not only there are many barriers. Okay? Those people live their own life. They know nothing. Many of them have never been away from Mecca. Yes, I know some old people now in the village, they have never been out of their villages. Yes, until now. And you talk about the global, and in every place in the world. We live in a global world, a world of globalization. So, the Prophet ﷺ spoke to them. I said, persecution is escalating. I want you to go to Abyssinia, Habasha. There is a king, a just king. How did the Prophet ﷺ know? This tells you that the da'i, we need to know about the outside world. We need to know about to know about the outside world. Because this deen is not only for this locality. And if people rejected this locality, we shouldn't go despair. Dawah should not stop. You may move to another place. If you cannot live in this place, you can migrate for your deen to another place. People migrate for some money, to gain some gains, for education, for tourism. And you don't migrate for your deen? You see? Sometimes you need to leave your village, you need to leave your family, you need to leave the place that you love the most for the sake of your deen. And this is what the companions did. Whom did the Prophet ﷺ send to Abyssinia? Bilal? Suhaib?
No.
Who?
Ja'far bin Abi Talib.
Yes. It's not only those poor, enslaved, persecuted people, easily persecuted. Those that call them soft targets. Yeah, they attack them because nobody is protected. They had no families. You buy them at the marketplace and you sell them. You see? But at the eyes of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, they are very valuable. This is when Abu Bakr sacrificed, went to Bilal and said, I'll buy this slave for you. And Umayyah ibn Khalif, whatever he asked, he gave him. And he said, how come you pay so much money for this routine human being? If you just paid very little, I'll give it to you. No, he said, if you allow to ask more, no matter, I'll give my wealth for his sake. You see how they loved each other. You see? They were ready to sacrifice. This deen needs sacrifice. Sometimes we don't sacrifice 5 riyals for this deen. If you ask for it, maybe. And we're ready to buy a pack of smoke cigarette for 10 riyals. You see? You see, this is the real test that faith the companions. He said, Uthman. He started with Uthman. Why Uthman? Because he's his son. No, he's the husband of Ruqayya, of his beloved. And his daughter, the Prophet's daughter, is going to. You're not sending other people. I'm sending my own daughter. We have to get to look at this. Sometimes we take it as a story. No, Seerah is not a story. Seerah is, we call it the way of life of Prophet Muhammad is a system, is a doctrine that we look at, we emulate, we study, we reflect, therefore that could be adapted in our lives. Because we move in situations similar to that. Okay? The Prophet said, Ja'far, who's Ja'far? Nabi Talib. His cousin. Is going to go. Okay? And he selected many noble dignitaries of the people of Quraysh who have become Muslims, along with others, because everybody is noble, everybody is equal in Islam. You could have your father is so and so, that will not help you on the day of judgment. Inna akramakum indallahi, the most honored for Allah is your people with highest level of piety, closeness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So all those people migrated to Islam. Many of them went in secret because the Quraysh is not going to let them. Their daughter is away. Because the daughter of Abu Sufyan, the supreme leader of Quraysh, the chieftain of Quraysh, she migrated along with her husband, Habiba radiallahu anha. And she had another story, another test. So they went into another test when they went there. More challenges probably than what they faced in Mecca. But they were different challenges because they're prepared for something greater. So we'll stop here. May Allah reward you all. And we'll continue with talking about the methodology of da'wah that the Prophet ﷺ followed. So this deen will increase, more companions to come, and we would be able to receive this deen complete and perfect. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.